Now, part of the reason why this is such a concern is because, albeit at one point we did have a top 15 defense, although we didn't look necessarily like it. Our defense has been getting gashed week after week. This week was no different. Gave up 228 yards, 146 to Saquon, 2 TDs. Hurts got in there himself. Um, we've known this was a problem. We knew this was a problem when Saquon's replacement with the Giants balled out on us, Singletary. We knew this was a problem when Chase Brown balled out on us for the Bengals. We knew when Chuba got a little energy. We've known this has been a problem. We thought we corrected a little bit last week. Neither Najee or Jaylen Warren got over 100 yards, even though they got it collectively. But we had that. This was our main goal. I know we wanted to focus on the our secondary, and I think we did an overall good job there. But this has been the main part of our defense that has had an issue. You talked about the dam is about to break. That gap looks a lot wider after this game, man. What do you think about it?
Yeah, and I was talking about our pass defense when I said that. I would, absolutely, we should be worried about our defense. That, especially when we're going up against good teams, they're not stopping good teams. No. They're not stopping good offenses. They, like you said, they're going to even allow marginal players to have pretty good days against them. And we're out. Jonathan Allen's out for the season, so we're not getting any reinforcements there. One of the things they talked about is by getting someone like Marshawn Lattimore, we would be able to focus some of the other players on stopping the run. Right now we are solely relying on Bobby Wagner and Frankie Luvu to fill those holes that the defensive line is leaving. And you're hoping to get a little more action out of Jeremy Chin and Quan Martin, and they're also having to play back a little bit, and so they're getting there a couple of yards later, and that's just a little bit more for what the running backs need to get some big time chunk runs on us. So it absolutely is concerning because it's like, well, what can we do at this point? As much as I'll give this Eric's guy Sheldon Day from Notre Dame. He hustles out there. He tries. Like maybe he needs a little bit more playing time than Fedarian Mathis does. I see him show up on the plays a little bit more than some of the others, but our personnel is our personnel. So it's very concerning. I mean, you can't give up 434 yards to Philly and think you're going to be competing against them.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And to your point, you've mentioned this before. Our linebackers we are working them for as much as we can get out of them. And Chen is also safety, but comes down to linebacker. He led the team with 13 tackles. Frankie had 10. Bobby had 8. But I think something that's even more noticeable, and it's funny, I sent a clip in our college chat talking about they were talking about Travis Hunter and him having only 2 tackles in a game or something. And Dion said, if your corners have a lot of tackles, that means that the run is getting through and they're the ones having to save the day. And if they have 6, 7 tackles, X, Y, and Z, St. Juice had 7. Noah, what's his name? Noah I.
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Igbenogany.
There we go. He had 6. Saber's still 6. Quan Martin 6. It's one thing if it's like, oh man, we're shutting these guys down, boom, boom, boom. But a lot of it is that these guys, the second and the third level, are having to get these tackles to make up for what that front line is letting go. And that to me is very frustrating because, like we've discussed, the Pats defense ain't doing that bad. We held A.J. Brown, and I believe A.J. Brown only had 5 catches. I think Devonta only had 5 catches. Or no, Goddard only had 5 catches. But between the rest of them, that's 8 catches between Saquon, Devonta, Jahan, and Kenneth Gainwell. And let me stop right here for a second. I'm going to say this. I was one that came out and said Jahan was going to ball out because he was ready. He had his thing circled. He caught the first catch. That was the extent of his balling out in this ball game. So he didn't do it. But we thought, and you alluded to it earlier, that our secondary was going to be the issue with all the receivers, all the weapons they have. We actually didn't do terribly bad, only giving up 221 yards passing, and almost at one point knocking Jalen out the game, so is there hope for that? our secondary.
The second? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think Philly might have just decided, hey, we can beat them on the run, so let's go attack them this game by doing that. I mean, like you said, it's a great stat talking about who's making the tackles. And you look at Philly, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 of their defensive linemen are among their top 7, 8 tacklers in that game. And we had all linebackers and DBs for ours. Just kind of shows you the difference in who, when you talk about the run game, who's breaking through. So yeah, I still just don't have a whole lot of faith in our pass defense. Mike Sanders still continues to be impressive. St. Juice was all right in this game. Like he was fine. He was a professional. He was serviceable. Yeah, none of that. But he he didn't suck out there. He didn't get burned. But I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in them.
And look, I gotta say this because one thing Janae did say to me is she said, enjoy it. She said, enjoy it. Your secondary might get a little better and everything like that. But when you look back last year to that 12-5 team the Cowboys had, in their 5 losses, the same thing happened. They got gashed in the run game. Once by the Cardinals. We also saw it in the playoffs by the Packers where they blew them out of the water. Is this part of the course? I mean, we all know that Quinn and Joe Witt Jr., they can turn guys like Bland into all pros. So maybe that's their specialty, but they have a propensity to get beat in the run. Is this something that might rear its ugly head later in the season? Or now? I mean,
I think that's a great observation by Janae. I feel like it's way too early to be comparing Dallas's defense in his 3rd year versus his first time taking over this Washington roster.
Right.
I just don't think it's apples to apples, but it's a great thing to look at, to kind of keep your eye on.
Yeah. So we shall see. Should we be worried about our defense? I think you've been given the answer. Yeah. Something that we got our eyes on. But look, we already know what it is. That game's in the books, and we got a big game coming up. But really quickly, we gotta take a quick break. We gotta shout out our guy, Mr. Anton Benton, Awesome Artisans. Check him out. Be right back. Yeah, buddy, that was my guy, our guy, Anton Benton, creator of Awesome Artisans. Awesome_artisans on Instagram. Definitely check him out. He does great work. And he travels. So he's in the Virginia Beach area now, but he will travel. He's gone as far as Colorado, I believe, as far as Seattle, so he'll chase it. He'll chase the dollar, man. Hey, help him out.